They lit it to burn for 3 days. It has never stopped. That was 1971. There are places on this planet that do not behave the way everything we know tells us they should behave. Not haunted, not cursed, not supernatural, simply unexplained. And the longer scientists study them, the less confident they become. We have mapped every mountain, named every ocean, photographed every corner of this Earth from orbit, and still, some places refuse us. 5 of them exist right now, tonight, while you watch this. Burning, frozen, drowning, abandoned, and completely, totally, still, unexplained. Each one sits at the exact edge of what human intelligence, human technology, and human imagination can currently reach and understand. Not beyond reach forever, just beyond reach right now, in this decade, with the tools and the frameworks we currently possess. Every civilization that touched these places left something behind. A fire, a statue, an arrow, a silence, and then simply vanished. This is not a list. This is a question. A question that every person who has studied these places stopped being able to answer. A flame flickers in the middle of a photograph, not a candle, not a campfire, not anything a human hand controls. The image is dated 1971. The flame in that photograph is still burning tonight, right now, as you watch this video. No one planned this. No one maintains it. The earth opened, and something deep inside simply refused to stop speaking out loud. Soviet engineers drilled into the Karakum desert floor, searching for natural gas reserves they believed would power an entire generation forward. The ground collapsed. The drill vanished. Fearing poison gas, they lit the crater on fire to burn it safely off. They estimated 3 days, maybe 1 week. The fire would exhaust itself, and the engineers could return to their real work. That was over 50 years ago. The crater is now 60 meters wide and 30 meters deep, glowing orange every single night. Locals named it the door to hell. Not because it looks dangerous, because it looks exactly like something patiently, quietly waiting. Scientists have studied its edges. Geologists have mapped its depth. No published paper has confidently explained why it will not stop. In 2013, explorer George Kourounis became the first person to descend inside it. He found living microbes thriving in the burning soil. Life, surviving inside fire, not beside it, not above it, inside it, thriving in conditions that nothing should biologically survive. The last thing Kourounis said before descending was a quiet joke to his crew. Nobody laughed. Everyone just watched the rope. A flight manifest sits inside a U.S. Navy archive. 45 names typed in black ink. No final destination ever recorded. Flight 19, December 5th, 1945. 5 torpedo bombers departed Fort Lauderdale on a routine training exercise and were never seen again.
Lead to formation. Horizon is distorting. Report status. Right wing copies, visibility dropping. Left wing, I'm losing you. Break lane. Formation, respond. Can anyone?
The rescue aircraft sent to find them also disappeared. 13 more men gone. No wreckage from either group was ever recovered. The Bermuda Triangle sits between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, a patch of ocean where probability has never behaved like probability. Over 50 ships and 20 aircraft have vanished inside this region. Lloyd's of London quietly charges higher premiums for vessels crossing it. Scientists propose methane hydrates, rogue waves, magnetic anomalies, human error. Each theory explains some cases. Not one theory explains them all. The U.S. Navy officially states the triangle does not exist as a named hazard. Their own ships still cross it every day. The last radio transmission from Flight 19 said only this: everything looked wrong, and the ocean simply did not look right. The late pilot's compass was spinning freely. He said he did not know which way was west. Then the signal ended. One pilot had written a letter to his mother that morning. It was found unopened in his locker that same evening. Now picture the opposite, not fire, but absolute darkness, absolute silence, absolute cold, buried 4 kilometers beneath Antarctic ice, forever. Lake Vostok has been sealed from the surface of this planet for somewhere between 15 and 25 million unerupted years. It is larger than Lake Ontario. It holds liquid water. It has never once touched sunlight in all of recorded geological history. Russian scientists drilled toward it for decades, a project that outlasted the Soviet Union, its collapse, and the country that replaced it. When they finally breached the lake in 2012, pressurized water shot up the borehole. Inside it, unknown microbial life, matching nothing, species matching nothing in any existing biological database. Life that evolved in total isolation, without light, without contact, without us. The international scientific community immediately voted to halt further drilling. The concern was not safety. The concern was contamination from above. We were afraid of ourselves, afraid that our world would erase theirs before we ever understood what their world actually was. One researcher who spent 11 winters at Vostok Station said the hardest part was never the cold, it was always the silence. She said some nights she could feel the lake beneath her feet through the ice, and it felt like something listening. She retired in 2019. She still has not published that particular observation in any journal. She will not explain the reason why. A stone chisel lies in the grass beside an unfinished face, the largest Mawel ever attempted, still fused to the quarry. Whoever was carving it simply stopped, mid-stroke, mid-face, and walked away without ever once returning to finish what they started. Easter Island holds nearly 1,000 stone statues, each facing inland, each averaging 14 tons, each built without wheels or large animals. The Rapa Nui people moved these figures across volcanic terrain using methods modern engineering teams have only partially been able to replicate. When Europeans arrived in 1722, they found a civilization already collapsing, statues toppled, population decimated, the builders nearly all already gone. What erased them remains debated: deforestation, warfare, disease, or all three, arriving simultaneously faster than any civilization could possibly survive. The statues all faced the same direction. No one alive today can say with certainty why that direction was chosen at all. Beneath the soil, archaeologists discovered the statues have full bodies, torsos buried by centuries of erosion. We only assumed they were heads. We had studied these figures for 300 years and still had not seen what was directly and plainly beneath our feet. A Rapa Nui elder, when told about the buried bodies, said only,
"It reminds me of the old stories from my grandfather."
A photograph taken from a helicopter shows a figure on a beach below, arm raised, bow aimed directly at the lens. The figure is a Sentinelese man. The helicopter is Indian Coast Guard. The arrow strikes the underside and falls into the sea. The Sentinelese have rejected every single contact attempt made by the outside world for an estimated 60,000 continuous, unbroken years. Their language is unknown. Their rituals are unknown. Their name for their own island, unknown. Everything about them remains completely unknown. In 2018, a young American missionary landed illegally, believing God would protect him. He was killed within hours. His body was never recovered. Indian law prohibits any retrieval attempt. The island legally protects itself by being legally and permanently protected from the rest of us. After the 2004 tsunami, a Coast Guard helicopter flew over to check for survivors on the island. Sitting silent below, the Sentinelese emerged from the trees and shot arrows at the helicopter. Every single one of them had survived the tsunami perfectly. While the modern world scrambled to process disaster, they had already moved to higher ground before the wave ever arrived at all. They knew 60,000 years of watching that ocean had taught them something no satellite, no sensor, no algorithm has yet learned. Tonight, fire burns on that beach. A child watches the horizon. The child is not afraid of anything out there. 5 places, 5 continents, 5 completely different kinds of mystery, and yet every single one of them shares one uncomfortable, undeniable thing. Every place on this list sits at the exact edge where human confidence finally runs out and human honesty has to begin. The fire that will not stop. The lake never exposed to light. The ocean that erased 45 names without leaving a single trace. The statues we study for 300 years without once looking down. The island that has been saying no for 60,000. None of these places are broken. None of them are waiting to be fixed. They are simply operating by rules we have not learned. And the most honest thing science has ever said about any of them is this: we do not know, not yet. Here is what no documentary about mysterious places ever says out loud: the mystery is never really about the place itself. It is about the person standing at the edge of it, looking in, and deciding whether to take one more step forward. George Karoun has stepped into a burning crater. A researcher pressed her ear to 4 kilometers of Antarctic ice. Both of them chose to stay. The Sentinelese child watching the horizon tonight is not afraid because 60,000 years of knowledge taught her what the ocean means. We have had maybe 200 years of modern science. She has had 60,000 years of paying very careful, undistracted attention. Every answer we have ever found began with someone standing at the edge of what they knew and refusing to step back. We started this with a fire that was supposed to burn for 3 days. It has been burning for over 50 years. The engineers who lit it are gone. The Soviet Union that sent them is gone. The fire has outlasted everything that created it. That fire does not know it is mysterious. It is simply burning, indifferent, patient, and completely unbothered by us standing here watching. Maybe that's the real answer, hiding inside every single one of these places. They are not mysterious to themselves, only to us. If we missed the bodies beneath Easter Island for 300 years, what else are we standing directly on top of right now?